Hi everyone, this is Anise here from Mindful Sales Training. Simple technique that multiplies your meeting close rate. Okay, now this is assuming you've done all the other work and you're now on the phone and you're trying to get that meeting, okay? The simple closing technique that helps you increase your meeting rate. Now, why is it important? Well, from what I've seen and heard, most people trying to get a meeting give prospects the opportunity to say no. And I used to do this all the time when I first started. I get a lot of rejections for meetings, like no thanks, and haven't got time. And now don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with giving people the option to say yes or no. In fact, when you're trying to sell something, you should always give that option because it eliminates some of the stress and it's already a stressful scenario. However, if you genuinely believe that your product can serve the other person, you're doing them a disservice by not giving the opportunity to meet with you, okay? Now, this is how we get it wrong. Typically, I've done this before, you might say, would you like to meet? Or I wondered if you want to meet, and or shall we arrange a meeting? Now, what this is doing is you're giving the other person the option to say yes or no, right? Now, what does that do? More often than not, people will say no. Why? It's got nothing to do with you or your product or service, but to do with their state of mind in that moment in time. It's human, it's our natural reaction or natural human behavior to choose the path of least resistance. So if you're on the phone and you're trying to get that, or rather they're on the phone, they're trying to get that meeting, and then all of a sudden, yes, oh, I have to look at my diary, I have to think of my schedule, and then there's a lot of thinking involved. So no is actually an easier option. It's an easier answer. Does that make sense? So we've given them the option to take the path of least resistance, which is saying no to you. So it's not a personal decision, but it's to do with them. They're at their desk. They've got emails, they've got social media, they've got meetings, and so on and so forth. And it's too much effort to think about when they could possibly meet. And so thinking, we want to eliminate thinking. We want to eliminate the stress for them. So here is the solution. You simply give them an option of a day and a time. You give them two options. So you could instead you could say, how would Thursday afternoon at 2 or Friday morning or Friday at noon? So you give them two. So it's easy for them to say yes, right? Does that make sense? So you're eliminating the stress, the decision-making stress that's brought into agreeing to meet with you. And what you're doing is you're causing their brain to focus on a solution. Because right now it's yes or no, you're focusing. If 2 o'clock is not convenient, then 3 o'clock, I can do 3 o'clock instead. That's what usually happens. If they can't make the times you suggested, they will look at roundabout time. Oh, really? It says it's live. Okay, I'm sorry, I've just been told that the webinar has ended, but I'm going to carry on, hoping it's recorded, and I will send you the recording, okay? So what you're doing is you're giving them the option to give an alternative day or for them to come up with a solution themselves, okay? Now, this is known in sales as an alternative close, where you give one option or another, okay? Now, this is a really important takeaway. I was with a client the other day, and they said how they hate it when people use sales techniques on them. And this is a technique. This is a sales technique. It's called an alternative close. And now you're probably thinking, oh, God, I can't use this. So here's the thing. This is what will set you apart from your competitors. You're using a closing technique. Now, here's the best analogy. If you're watching a movie and the acting is terrible, like me and my partner, when watching a movie or a TV series and the acting is bad, they're just saying the lines, we hate it. We change the channel. And that's what most salespeople are doing. They're using these tinned techniques in a tinned fashion. And here's what sets you apart. And you have a distinct advantage because it's your own baby. It's your product. It's your passion. So before you make the call, if you sit there and you ask yourself, take 2 or 3 minutes to ask yourself, why am I doing this? What is my purpose? How can I serve this person? How can I help them? And really just get into that. Immerse yourself into the bigger why. Because usually when we're making these calls, you're a bit, oh God, I've got to make this call, and you're worried about closing, and all of these concerns and worries occupying our mind, and we come across in a tinned technique fashion. But if you take a moment to just take a breath and remember your why, your purpose, and tap into that passion, tap into, immerse yourself in the reason how and why you can serve them. Because then when you get on the phone, they will feel that you are in character. They will know that you genuinely and you're authentically trying to serve them. And that's what makes you different. And that's how you will stand out. And you'll avoid sounding like all the other salespeople out there. Okay? So just to recap, start with your why, your purpose. Remember your purpose. Tap into your passion, your unique selling point. 2, look at your diary at least 10 days in the future and pick out 2 pockets of time you can meet with them. Don't make it on a Monday before 11 o'clock, okay? Which is why this originally was scheduled for 11. Not before 11 on a Monday, but any other time. Pick 2 pockets of time, at least 10 days in the future. If you're trying to meet someone senior, they're usually quite busy further on, but bear that in mind, okay? And then 3, when it comes to closing and asking for the meeting, give them an alternative, okay? If you found this useful, please share it with your tribe so that they can all register and sign in, and they can get their own, they can ask questions and they can register themselves. And thanks for listening. This is Anise Qizilbash from Mindful Sales Training, helping you grow your sales mindfully.